Hi guys, welcome back. Today we have my eagerly anticipated Xbox One S upgrade. I built this myself to get rid of that giant breeze block that I call my current Xbox. I'm just going to do a quick unboxing of this and then I'll get into the specifics once we're done with that. So in this bundle you get the 1TB Xbox One S, you also get FIFA 17 as you can see, another white spare controller, and obviously 12 months of Xbox Live. I'm not going to turn that card around for obvious reasons. I'm just going to put that to a side. The one thing I am happy to see is with this bundle, they've actually bundled with it a white controller. I know obviously you're probably thinking, well, if it's a white console you'll get that anyway. But a friend of mine who ordered a similar bundle but with a different game actually got a black controller. So I'm happy to see I got a white one. Otherwise that would drive my OCD insane. So I'm just going to unbox these and then we'll get into the rest of it. So as you can see in there, you've got the controller. And they have actually included some batteries. And under there we have all of the paperwork and the less important junk that no one ever bothers to read. So we'll get rid of that. One thing I will say is this controller looks very nice. White colour looks really good, black colours blend really well. It's a very nice controller. I do have the other controller there for comparison's sake. So this is the controller that came with my first Xbox. So they look very similar. The only real difference is that this is a texturised grip, whereas that one's not. So that's the spare controller. Just leave that there. So, the most important thing. I mainly got this one, this upgrade, purely because the sheer size of my other console was just too big, and that power brick was just ridiculously unneeded. I will say, I don't want you getting into this, do I? Right. So in the box, again some more instructions, more junk that no one ever bothers to read. And that's an empty box now. So in this box we've got the plug, which is the power cable. Nice to see there's no giant brick that you get with the other one. I mean, it's gone from that to that. Much better improvement. The secondary white controller, and again they have included some batteries for us, and the HDMI cable. Again, this actual HDMI cable looks a lot smaller than the original. It doesn't have that big clunky black casing around the cable. Much better. And in this box, I believe, is all of the codes that I get for the game. Yep. So you've got the FIFA 17 game there. Again, not going to turn it around for obvious reasons. You get the Xbox One access page. Some more Microsoft pamphlets. And an Xbox Live 14-day free membership card. So if you want to claim that, you're more than welcome. There's the code. Alright, there we go. On to the most important thing. straight away, just the first touch of that is ridiculous at how light that is. I mean, I can actually hold that with one hand very easily. Okay, so I'm just going to adjust the camera slightly. So as you can see, the console is obviously drastically smaller, drastically skinnier. It looks really good in this white colour. I didn't actually think I was going to get on with the white colour, as most of my setup is actually black and red. But to be honest with you, I don't actually mind this one. I like it. Anything that is dramatically smaller than the other console is fine by me. I brought my console around the release time, and I actually barely used it due to the fact that it was so big in my room, and I just didn't have the space to actually put it anywhere. I didn't like the actual the power supply that came with the last one. I mean, that, you know, is just ridiculous. So that has gone from that to that. I mean, that's quite a change, wouldn't you say? I mean, it appears that Microsoft do listen to their customers every once in a while. So on the back, you'll see that we actually have all of the similar ports. You've got the power supply there, you've got the HDMI out there, HDMI in, USB, USB, IR out, that's the headset jack, and then you've got the internet jack on the side there, and then obviously the Kensington lock on the side there. There was a USB port on the side here on the original console, but as you can see, it's no longer there. They've moved it and put it around the back, which quite frankly I think is a better location than on the side of it. Just for comparison's sake, I do actually have my old Xbox One lying around. Now, as you can see, that is a pretty hefty console. It's quite heavy. So just for comparison's sake, you can see just how much skinnier this one is to that one. If I turn them sideways, I mean, that is quite a dramatic size difference there. I mean, weight wise, I mean, this is still pretty heavy, but nowhere near as heavy as this one. For ports on the back, I'm not quite sure how well you'll see that. The locations aren't really that different. I mean, the power supplies are both there. The HDMI out is there, same location. The headphone connector is in the middle on the Xbox One. We've got the HDMI in there, the two USB ports which are actually stacked on top of each other. They're not actually, they're next to each other. You've got the internet jack, which is actually in a different location, and then you've got the accessory connectors there, and then the Kensington lock is in a similar place. So one thing I have just realised is obviously this one has two USB ports on the back, and the third USB port just down there, so that basically means they've taken away an extra USB port for the second one. To be honest with you, not really much of a big deal for me, because I don't actually use all of the USB ports anyway, due to the fact that I haven't actually used the console that much. But obviously now I've got this new one, I'm actually going to start using it due to the fact that we have a much smaller power supply. So I'm just going to put that to one side. So the controller, as I mentioned at the beginning, is actually not that much different to the one you actually had. The layout is exactly the same. There are obviously some improvements on the inside. The connectors on the bottom are exactly the same. It seems you do have a 3.5mm audio connector there, whereas you don't on the original. The back side of this is actually textured, which should make holding the controller a lot more enjoyable. Feels a lot nicer to hold. It actually feels a slight bit lighter than the other controller. So yeah, as I was saying, the old power supply is just ridiculous compared to the new one. I mean, you've got the smaller sized HDMI cable with it as well, and obviously a much smaller power supply cable. So yes, that is the Xbox One S FIFA 17 edition. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I will see you in the next video.